While we're waiting, Commissioner Lazarus, would you lead us in the invocation when we get down to that? Thank you.
Mr. Everson, we are live.
Thank you very much. Okay, Commissioner Johnson, you want me to go ahead and call roll, or? I'm sorry, you're muted, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome everyone to the work session for September the 7th, 2021. Mr. Clerk, can we have roll call?
Commissioner Hopkins.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner
Present.
Jackson. Commissioner Young. I see you, but I didn't hear you, Commissioner.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Burrell.
Here.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
Present.
Commissioner Gage Watts. Commissioner Talaferro.
Here, sir.
Commissioner Atkins.
Here.
Commissioner Chavez.
Here, sir.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Here.
And Commissioner Epperson. All right, you've got 10 members present and 2 members absent. That is a quorum. I believe you're muted, Commissioner Johnson.
We ask that Commissioner Lazarus would do the invocation and Commissioner Epperson would do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Everyone bow their heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for the many blessings that you've given us. Lord, lead, guide, and direct us as we conduct the business of the parish. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I would ask that all military and veterans would render the traditional hand to brow salute. All others, hand across your heart and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
At this time, we'll have a special recognition by Commissioner Epperson on the military involvement in the Afghan war.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All assembled. Prior to my presentation, I would like to ask that all veterans, whether they're listening in on this call, commissioners and staff would give their name, their rank, and their branch of service prior to me starting my presentation. I will lead us off. Sergeant E5 Kenneth R. Epperson Sr., United States Army, May 29, 1965, May 28, 1968, Vietnam era. Any others, staff or listeners?
Kelvin Samuel, United States Air Force, 26 years, enlisted 1990, retired 2015. E9, Senior Master Sergeant.
Dr. Woody Wilson, Chief Master Sergeant, retired U.S. Air Force, 1973 to 1997.
Sergeant Chavez, E5, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2000 to 2012.
Jim Talaferro, United States Air Force, United States Navy, 1971 to 2012. Vietnam veteran, Iraqi freedom, enduring freedom, noble eagle.
Okay, that appears to be all. On September 11th, 2001, 2,977 Americans were killed in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, a combination of those three areas by an attack of terrorists on American soil. On October the 7th, 2001, President George W. Bush gave the authorization for the invasion of Afghanistan, where the terrorists appeared to be housed and were coming from. During this period of time, there were 4 commanders in chief, starting out with President Bush, President Barack Obama, President Donald Trump, and ending with President Joe R. Biden. Over this 20-year period of time, 800,000 American troops served in Afghanistan. Injured in Afghanistan was over 20,000 Americans. A total of 2,461 American soldiers were killed, including the last 13 that were killed about 2 weeks ago, prior to the ending of the military occupation on August the 30th of 2021. Also included was 3,846 United States contractors. The total cost of this war was over $2 trillion. At this time, I would like to name the last 13 troops that were killed in Afghanistan. Sergeant Johanna Rosario Picardo, 25 years old, female, United States Marine. Sergeant Nicole L.G., 23, female, United States Marine. Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover, 31, male, United States Marine. Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22, United States Marine, male. Corporal Dagan W. Page, 23, male, United States Marine. Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, 22, male, United States Marine. Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, 20, male, United States Marine. Land Corporal Jared M. Smits, 20, male, United States Marine. Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, 20, male, United States Marine. Lance Corporal Dylan R. Miola, 20, male, United States Marine. Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nikoy, 20, male, United States Marine. Finally, Corpsman Maxton W. Soviak, 22, United States Navy, male. Ladies and gentlemen, may God receive those 2,461 persons in his holy kingdom, and may God continue to console and bless their families. And as our final saying is, veterans, America's first heroes. Every day should be Veterans Day in America. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Epperson, for that. Before we move on, we got the certificate of teleconference. There are some items on the agenda that does not meet the qualifications to be here. So I will go through each one of them, let you know which ones that we'll keep, which ones that will be kicked out. 8.1, we will keep. 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, we will keep. 8.5, we will keep. We're going to kick out 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9, 8.10, 8.11, 8.12, 8.13, 8.14. We will keep 8.15, 8.16.
Anybody need that?
Did everyone
restated?
catch that? Or do I need to go through it again?
If you turn around and just give us the ones that we're gonna keep, like 8.2 and 8.3.
Okay, ones we'll keep. Ones we'll keep is 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.7,
Mr. Chairman,
8.15, 8.16. Yes, sir.
I was just going to suggest that as you get to them, you would make that call.
Well, I was just trying to do it now so that we'll have, because once we do the certificate of teleperformance, that we have to announce what's going to be on the agenda. So that's why I was doing it now instead of waiting until we get down to each meeting.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and so at this point, is the time when you would vote to approve the agenda and it's under agenda additions. But if you'll recall, this is requires a 2/3 vote and sort of catches a few of the items.
So move for the approval of the agenda as amended.
Second.
And who was that
Been
second?
moved by Commissioner Burrell and seconded by Commissioner Epperson to approve the agenda as amended for teleconference.
Okay, would you
We'll
like me to
have
go
roll
ahead and
call
roll
now,
call?
Mr. Clark.
All right.
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts, Commissioner Talaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 10 in support, none in opposition, and 2 absent. And that brings us to the next item, which is going to be your citizens' comments. These citizens' comments today are able to be heard by phone or people who have emailed before the meeting. We have not received electronic communications before the meeting, but would you like me to go ahead and give that phone number out?
Yes, sir.
All right, that phone number, and we have heard from at least one constituent who did let us know they'd be calling in, so we may want to give a few minutes. That number is 318-226-6596. Again, that phone number is 318-226-6596 to make public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. And Linda, could you let
We have
me know if
two citizens waiting to speak.
you have how many?
Two.
2, perfect. Commissioner Johnson, do you want us to go ahead and connect the citizen? Great, thank you. Linda, if you could connect the first caller, please. And also, I should say that I just looked at my online forms and I did receive another citizen comment as well. So after this person issues their comment.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Point of information, if the caller isn't relevant to what's on the agenda, then we just tell them that, right?
Well, I mean, public comments, they can talk about anything they want to talk about. So we got to listen to it for at least 3 minutes.
Linda, are you?
Hello, Mr. Lacasse. All righty, please go ahead and state your comments, start with your name, and then you have 3 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner, this is Johnny McCall, up here in Louisiana, President of Caddo to call in today to ask if there were any questions or comments about our appointment for Philip Ewald today on your agenda, and I'll ask that everybody would move favorably, and I think Mr. Ewald will serve us well with his past construction experience and experience with the state. If there's any questions, I'd be willing to answer those at this time.
Mr. Lacaz, this is the clerk, and I'm sorry, but I think that your sound did not come through very clearly, at least for me. I was able to understand what you were saying, but I'm not sure that the other attendees were able to hear that.
I could not.
Okay, thank you for confirming that, Commissioner Burrell. If you don't mind holding on one moment, I'm going to get a better microphone and see if I can share this microphone to see if this may work better than the one that was used to connect you. If you don't mind. Sorry for the brief delay, but if y'all don't mind, this will help us to make sure that we can hear the rest of the citizens' comments. One moment. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we've switched out the microphones, and hopefully the microphone that is connected to the telephone will produce a better quality now. So,
Okay, Mr. Lacaz, can you speak, please?
James Lacaz, up here in Vivian, Louisiana, calling for favorable passage of Philip Ewald to the Ward 2 Industrial Park appointment. Yes, if anyone has any questions, I'll address those.
Okay, thank you. We'll next move to the next person if that's it.
Mr. President, is he expecting us to ask questions? He may not know that we cannot.
Oh, well, during public comments, we cannot answer any questions presented by the public. So, and that was actually removed from the agenda for the day as well.
okay, would you like to hear the next public comment?
Yes.
Okay, I believe Ms. Peavy is on the line. Linda, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah, the microphone that I have plugged in won't let me hear anything. I don't know if you guys heard anything from my end.
We did not hear that just now.
Okay.
If you had another comment, we heard the first comment loud and clear.
Okay,
Mr.
I do have two more.
Okay, great.
Hello, Ms. Peavy, I'm sorry. Alrighty, I have you here to speak. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Candy Peavy calling in for your meeting on topic is the COVID-19 control policy that I was able to review. And I wanted to commend Dr. Wilson on a good job with the majority of the policy. I think especially the sections on prevention and education are very good. However, the section I'm very concerned about is under your definition, number A, number 2, COVID-19 outbreak. We are considered to be in a 1.1% according to the LDA. And, you know, I sat in several, at least 3 of your meetings, plus a pandemic task force meeting. And I was there for the vote. And I know that when you voted, it was against the mandate. So I would like, and at that point, you wanted to change the wording to recommendation for a vaccine for employees. Well, you need to understand a requirement is a mandate. A mandate is a requirement. There's no way around this language. So section B, during a COVID-19 outbreak, the parish administrator may require that individuals provide proof of vaccination as a condition of employment. That is a mandate. That is a requirement. That is what you guys, the language you chose not to use, you were going to use the word recommendation. So also this policy, if it stands the way it's written, Dr. Wilson, you know I love you, but this would give Dr. Wilson full authority to mandate the vaccine himself. So there is an abundance of proof right now in LVH, CDC, that we are dealing with the Delta variant. There is also an abundance of proof that the current vaccine is not effective against Delta. That's why so many fully vaccinated people are getting sick. Also, the science is clear that anyone who has recovered from this virus has 20 times more antibodies than someone who is vaccinated. A COVID recovered person who gets the vaccine is at a much greater risk of harmful side effects. So requiring or mandating a vaccine across the board for all employees is not the answer. The answer, the other measures that are in the policy, that is the answer. It's promoting a healthy lifestyle, how to boost your immunity, prevention, and education. I think you guys need to go back and revisit your previous meetings where you discussed recommendation. That's where it needs to stand. A mandate or a requirement, which are the same, will just not work. And very concerned about this language. There's also a couple of just grammatical errors under number C, general procedures definition number C. COVID-19 would say illness following COVID-19 in both places on number C. So I think everything, the temperature screening is great. I think it's a good policy. I just think you really need to think hard about a requirement for a vaccine. I know you'll be setting yourself up for a lawsuit. I absolutely know that based on what's going on around the state with other places of employment.
Ms. Peavy, your time has
Oh, not.
expired.
Thank you, Ms. Peavy. Your time has expired. Next public comment.
I believe we have one more caller waiting on the line. And then, of course, I do still have the electronic comment to share.
Okay.
Linda, do you want to connect our final caller? Linda, we're not able.
3 minutes to speak.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Am I on right now?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Janet Bacon. I am an employee of Caddo Parish School for a long time. I'm a counselor. And when
I'm sorry, Ms. Bacon disconnected.
okay, it's kind of I don't know, reviewing my on that, so I just cut off the live and I'm just going to go talk on the telephone. But anyway, I'm an employee. I'm a counselor of Caddo Parish School Board, and I've been an employee for a long time. And they came out with the policy that if you got the vaccine and you got COVID, you could have sick days. But if you did not,
if you do not get the vaccine, you will not get extra sick days like the ones that did get the vaccine. So I started really researching the vaccines to see, you know, because I was hearing different things and I couldn't decide about it. And so I came across this article just recently that was published in a medical journal, and it was about Israel. And Israel is I don't know if y'all know this, but is the highest vaccinated population in the world. They have 80% of their people are vaccinated. And it was very interesting that they also have the highest ratings of COVID, the Delta variant right now. So as you can see, just because you get the vaccine certainly does not mean you're not going to get virus. And so I would highly encourage you to look this up. I found it on the main wire. It was a Harvard epidemiologist who spoke about this, and also there's several important people on there that wrote the study and did the study in Israel. This is very important information because I feel like natural immunity is far superior than the vaccine. And I have natural immunity. I've already had the vaccine. So, I mean, I've already had the virus. So I feel real strongly that natural immunity is superior to the vaccine. Also, it said in this same article and study that vaccinated individuals are 27 times more likely to get symptomatic COVID infection than those with natural immunity. I just implore y'all to really look at the research they've done in Israel before you start mandating vaccines. I also want to tell you quickly about my family. 20 of us had it the 1st of June, and the way that we got it was through my parents. My dad's 92 and he has diabetes, and my aunt's 94. He has severe asthma. And they were exposed by one of their caregivers who had just gotten the vaccine. He exposed my parents, and then we had to go take care of my parents because we didn't want them to go in the hospital to die alone. So I called a doctor in Texas to treat all of us, and they treated us all with the human form of the prescription ivermectin. And I can tell you that it was actually a miracle drug for my family. All of us, including the 92-year-old and the 94-year-old, recovered in 4 days. So now we have natural immunity, so it's not right to punish the ones with natural immunity, not give us the sick days that you're giving the vaccinated
Time
people.
has expired.
So I just implore you to look at the research in Israel to see what's really going on in the world. And
Your time has expired.
Okay,
Now,
and we have a final public comment today comes from Mr. Jim Graves, who writes, I'm sorry, would you like me to go ahead and give the electronic public comment?
Yes, go ahead and read that one.
Thank you. Okay, the comment comes from Jim Graves, and it says, Mr. President, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Graves, and I am the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Citizens Advisory Committee that you established pursuant to Resolution 42 of 2021. We have held 2 meetings so far and have a 3rd meeting scheduled for September 21st, 2021. During our initial meetings, we established an open, diverse, and inclusive process for inviting public comment on the work you have given us to do. We believe that our process and deliberations will reflect credit on Caddo Parish and you, our commissioners, in resolving our citizens' concerns. On behalf of the 11 members of the committee, I respectfully request that action on resolution number 68 of 2021 be deferred until such time as we can hear from the public and submit our recommendations. While the substance of resolution 68 is certainly within the possible solutions that the committee will be considering, we believe it is premature at this time to advance any solution before our processes have concluded. Thank you for your consideration. And that
Thank
is
you, Jill.
that's the only comment that we received electronically to this week.
All right, next item.
Okay, that brings us to visitors, where you do have one scheduled visitor today. I believe the Tim James Bridge is the name of the project, and William Bradford is on the line today to give a brief introduction to the project.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Point of information, Is that bridge on the agenda today?
The bridge is not on the agenda. Only the visitor to speak about the bridge. If you said anything, we didn't hear you.
Oh, I was just wondering. I thought we had to be relevant to the pandemic.
Well, the items on it. From my understanding, the comments and the visitors can be open. From my understanding, unless I'm wrong. But our votes and what we discuss and debate has to be tied to those 6 items on that checklist. Go ahead, Mr. Bradford, on your presentation.
Thank you so much. Members of the commission, I appreciate the time today. I am one of the representatives of Tim James Incorporated, which is an Alabama infrastructure investment and development. They are interested in creating a new roadway in Southeast Shreveport and South Bossier, which would effectively connect those 2 communities and all of our communities, really, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Bossier City, and Bossier Parish, via a toll plaza at the Red River, south of Jimmy Davis, but north of the port. Effectively, we would build 8 miles of roadway infrastructure, an estimated 8 miles of roadway infrastructure, all of which would be free for use with the exception of the toll bridge. This project is completely privately funded and does not rely on any tax incentives or tax credits. One of the things that we wanted to present to you, and I think it's included on the agenda, is the master route as it stands right now. We are working with a company called Volkert, which is a preeminent industry leader in design and engineering construction, the design build method of construction in the country. As a matter of fact, they're the same entity that's working on the new gateway for the Barksdale Air Force Base. Mr. James is, again, located in Alabama, but he has visited our community several times and will be here several times prior to the vote from the hopeful vote for approval. Under state law, the commission for each parish is asked to pass legislation effectively authorizing privately funded infrastructure across private land. And so it sets out a few items. And again, that information, the ordinance, has been shared with our parish, various parish attorneys, both Ms. Fraser's office as well as Mr. Jackson's office in Bossier. And we'll begin a process of going through back and forth to make sure that both parishes are comfortable with the language as it's proposed and as it's required by the state statute. So that's where we are in the process. We have not gotten to a point yet where we have a final design. The next step for us is going to be following approvals from the parishes. Will be the process of going through a total design of the route. Again, this route is across all private land, with the exception there's a small trapezoidal piece of property at the foot of 3132 and Flournoy Lucas that we're negotiating with the city at fair market value to encumber that land. We're not purchasing it, of course, because of certain state restrictions, but everything else along this route is privately owned, and we've negotiated with those landowners and executed many of those agreements, and we're working to finalize that now. We have a pretty good grasp of what it will take to get this completed. We're thinking it's about $60 to $80 million of privately funded investment. And so our next step and what we're going to present to the council is both the ordinance as well as a required cooperative endeavor agreement, which sets out our responsibilities as developers for this project. And it is a negotiated agreement, but ultimately it's required by state law. And the state statute is pretty explicit about what needs to be included in that, and it is included in our presentation. So that's just a brief overview, but for those of you that are not familiar with the route or have not had a chance to look at it, effectively we would take the end of 3132, very similar to the NL-COG route, and complete that to Highway 1. The variance for us is that we're going to go on grade with consideration to the neighborhoods, 12 Oaks, Esplanade, and any other neighborhoods along that route. It will be a boulevard, again, free for use until you get to the bridge at across Highway 1. We're going to go above the railroad tracks at Highway 1 to alleviate some of that wait time and lead time from those neighborhoods as well. And then we landed in what's effectively called the Batcher, which is the area between the levee and the levees between Caddo Parish and Bossier Parish. There's a lot of restrictions that the Army Corps of Engineers will impose, and we're very aware of those and have designs that will be compliant to their requirements. That toll bridge will then connect Caddo Parish to Bossier Parish. We'll land it back into Bossier Parish and take it out to Highway 71, which is effectively behind Parkway. There will be some spurs off to different areas, different streets. For instance, the ideal completion of Arthur Teague, as well as I believe that's Sligo, down there in Bossier Parish. And so those roadways will be free for use for anyone who does not cross the bridge. Again, emergency vehicles, publicly owned vehicles, including fire trucks, EMS, will all be free for use for us. We're anticipating about a $2, give or take, toll for regular passenger vehicles, and of course, heavy trucks and multi-axle vehicles will be a little bit more. And so we hope for your support. Mom always says, ask for the vote. So we are going to ask for your support in this project. The port has offered a letter of support. We've met with Willis Knight, and they're very supportive of this, and will provide a letter of support as well. And we're hoping to bring something that is a good economic driver for our entire community, for both communities. And so we're making the rounds and making sure to make you informed. We didn't want today, or the day that the legislation is presented, to be the first day you've seen it or heard about it. So we're trying to be as transparent and open as possible and make sure that we answer any questions that you may have on the front end while while this legislation is under consideration. And so thank you.
Thank you, William. Got a commissioner that wants to ask you a question or make a statement. Commissioner Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Bradford, for that informative presentation. And thank you and Mr. James for taking the time to visit with many of us previously on this matter. I just want to make sure that I understand correctly that that this will be a zero grade boulevard that goes through near the 3132 path that will be actually probably be less intrusive to 12 Oaks and Esplanade than the existing state proposed 3132.
Yes, sir. So we've been in regular communications with NLCOG and as well as DOTD about this project. And the difference is that our project proposes an on-grade boulevard, like you said, a zero-grade boulevard. We have the capacity as private industry to make a lot more considerations for sound and visual clutter and pollution. And so we are committed to making sure. We've met with the board for 12 Oaks, and we're getting input from them as well about noise mitigation factors that we can include and visual pollution mitigation factors that we can include. And so, yes, those will, anytime the neighborhood is affected, we anticipate having on grade, which is effectively, for the most part, going to be that 12 Oaks and Esplanade area. And then once we get back behind into what is kind of free and clear land, we'll begin to raise the grade so that we can get into the bridge.
Okay, it sounds like a win-win for the people in my district there that they'll have a less intrusive piece of infrastructure that still provides access to much of the southern portion of the parish, and importantly, provides a brand new bridge that we don't currently have in that portion of the parish, and all with private dollars, so the state dollars can be used in other places to make other important infrastructure investments. So thank you for the proposal. I look forward to seeing it advance further. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Carthon.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Bradford. How are you?
I'm doing well, Commissioner Carthon. How are you?
Great. I got a question for you. As it relates to the toll fee.
Yes, sir.
Is there a prescription date on the toll fee, or would the toll fee be in perpetuity?
Well, unlike a publicly funded project, this is a toll that is an investment for Mr. James. It's not meant to just amateurize the investment. It's meant to be profitable. So we don't sunset the toll. It's not like the West Bank Bridge where there was a finite, it was a public project with a finite balance and the citizens ultimately paid it off. And unlike that, this is a private investment. We're not replacing any free routes. We are an alternative to free routes. Our thought is that we support Jimmy Davis and the longevity and lifespan of the Jimmy Davis, and ultimately can help support the I-69 corridor as it relates to future development. But yeah, this is an investment. It's a private infrastructure investment. And so Mr. James we don't intend to sunset the toll, no.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How you doing, William?
I'm doing well, Mr.
I had only a couple of questions since I have not been privy to any discussion of this project. Like Commissioner Atkins, I'm not sure when it commenced, but my first time hearing it, basically, well, it's been in some just basically public discussion through the newspapers. But first of all, how far south of Highway, what is it, 70th Street? How far south is that from that location?
Of 70th Street or Highway 1?
Is
we take 3132 south. We effectively tie in at Florida Lucas, and we will go between Florida Lucas and Esplanade. We will go between 12 Oaks and Esplanade and tie into the more southern portion of Highway 1. So we're south of Florida Lucas, but we're north of the port. So you're about 2 miles, give or take, from, I believe, from the Jimmy Davis of the proposed route. So Highway 71 and
what Jimmy Davis is what I'm talking about.
Jimmy Davis,
yeah,
a couple miles south of them.
a couple of miles south. Now,
Yes,
will this road tie directly into a public highway, or you said it's going to be an alternative route to a free roadway, whatever that is. I haven't looked at the map.
Sure.
But will that private roadway tie directly into a public highway, say coming from the port?
We will tie. We will have.
3132.
So there's a jug handle proposal for Highway 1, and we've been in negotiations with DOTD to improve the grading there. So there'll be capacity building for the port. That's why they're very supportive of it, because we give a more direct route to drop off 3132 on Florida Lucas. We actually can go further south. You can maintain that instead of having to cut over on Florida Lucas through all that residential traffic. You can maintain the expressway and tie into Highway 1. And if you open that map, you'll see a little bit further south towards the port. So we effectively shorten headways significantly for truck traffic that will go that way as well.
But Florida Lucas will still be a free route?
Oh yeah, we don't impact free routes. No, sir. You have not prohibit any citizen from taking an existing free public route. You can elect to take our route. I think the citizens will see that we're a much more efficient route, and which is good in the long-term usability of public infrastructure, because your traffic loads will decrease on that public infrastructure. And so, our vision is that once this road is constructed, that we will shorten headway significantly from effectively Barksdale Boulevard, Sligo Road in Bossier to Florida Lucas and 3132. And so, yes, sir, we would take that, and it's a private roadway, and you can use that free of charge until you get to the toll bridge. So it's not until you hit the toll bridge that you actually begin to pay. So all of that land in Caddo Parish along our route becomes developable, because now you have a roadway with traffic load that can spur off into future development in those areas as well. And the same thing happens.
Okay, I was just concerned, since I have not seen the layout, that we're not forcing the public onto this,
No.
This private entity when we having a free roadway in which they can travel.
Yes. No, sir. We do not replace or prohibit any existing public routes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. And I see no other commissioners on the board. Thank you, William, for sharing that information with us.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Is this to old business, where we don't have any old business scheduled today? So moving along to new business, we have the first item is 8.1, authorizing the introduction of ordinance number 6104 of 2021. It's an ordinance amending the budgets of estimated revenues and expenditures for the Building Maintenance Fund Capital Improvement Fund, General Fund, Parks and Recreation Fund, Oil and Gas Fund, Public Works Fund, Detention Facilities Fund, Juvenile Justice Fund, Riverboat Fund, and the Solid Waste Fund for the year 2021 to terminate completed or lapsed capital projects and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Chavez, seconded by Commissioner Atkins to advance the ordinance 6104 of 2021.
I think that was Todd.
Commissioner Chavez, you want to speak?
I think that was Todd.
Oh, all right.
President.
Okay.
No, I
My
don't. I don't
bad.
need to speak on it. It's all in the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for a roll call vote? Oh, wait, never mind. It looks like Commissioner Lazarus may have a hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to make a substitute motion to englobo and adopt 8.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
I second that.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Johnson, did you see anybody?
Mr. Everson, this is Attorney Frazier. I just wanted to note that it would be moving these items to Thursday for the regular agenda. It's not.
That's right.
That is correct. It would be an englobo in advance, I believe. I'm not sure how he stated it, but that's what I heard was
My
englobo
mistake.
in advance.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got kicked out, so I'm back now.
I'm sorry. It looks like that's happening a lot today. I'm not sure why, but it looks like people are bouncing in and out the call a lot. Apologize for that.
Yeah, I second it. So,
Okay, so that was a englobo in advance on which ordinances?
So it was for items 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, and 8.5, and 8.7.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, Commissioner Lazarus, you want to speak to that motion?
No, sir.
All right. Seeing no one else, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yay.
Commissioner Gage Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 11 in support and 1 absent. And that brings us a little further down to item number 8.15, which is the authorizing the tax board of review presentation from Assessor Charles Hennington.
Move to advance.
Second.
It was moved by Commissioner Atkins, seconded by Commissioner Epperson to advance the tax board of review. Commissioner Atkins, do you want to speak to that motion?
I'll just say that it's done every year. It's a standard part of our process. So I think we should go ahead and advance it till Thursday.
All right. Seeing no one else, let's vote. Roll call.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries with 11 in support and 1 absent. And that brings us to the final item under new business, which is to authorize a review of the proposed COVID-19 control policy.
Move forward to Thursday's agenda.
Second.
It was moved by Commissioner Everson, seconded by Commissioner Burrell to advance the authorization of review of the proposed COVID-19 control policy. Commissioner Everson, you want to speak to that motion?
The charge that was rendered to the administration, they have given us a proposal, so each commissioner would have an opportunity to peruse between now and Thursday, and we could then address it on Thursday if we have any concerns.
Okay. Commissioner, I think it's Atkins first, Chavez second, and Hopkins third.
Thank you, Mr. President. Echoing what Commissioner Epperson stated, this role, our charter provides this responsibility to Dr. Wilson. And so I think it's appropriate that he's provided a document, and I think it's appropriate that we forward it for review on Thursday. Thank you.
Commissioner Chavez.
Thank you, President. Just want to make an amendment. If my motion to pull under General Procedures B, during a COVID-19 outbreak, the parish minister may require that individuals provide proof of vaccination against COVID-19 as a condition of employment. If I get a second, I'll speak on it.
Second.
All right, thanks, guys. And I agree with Commissioner Atkins and Commissioner Epperson. This may take place on Thursday. I never know where life will take us. So if I'm not here on Thursday, I want to make sure that I go on the record to remove this just for any employees that may see this and decide they want to find other employment or they're scared. There's just too much controversy. Ms. Peavy spoke, obviously, what's going on in Israel. There's just too much information out there for us to put these type of mandates on our employees, and I don't feel comfortable doing it. So I'd like to see at least this part stricken, but the rest of it I'm comfortable with. So if we can remove this going forward now, I'd appreciate that. If not, I will attempt to do this again on Thursday.
Commissioner Chavez, for the record, could you restate what the portion?
Sure. Under general procedures, it's B.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Hopkins. I thought that
Pull
was
mine. I'll address it on Thursday.
okay. Commissioner Burrell.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to recommend that we adjust it on Thursday. There may be information out there, but there are misinformation out there too. And many of them are calling it legitimate studies. And you're getting it off the internet. Anything comes to the internet. So we have to be, I think we need to be more cautious of that, because not only the Delta variant is taking a humongous toll. We also have the Mu variants now that has been identified in many of our states. I think up to 39 states already. So I think we need to proceed with caution and take it up on Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Commissioner Epperson.
Yes, I'm going to oppose this amendment, and that I think we should take everything up officially on Thursday. However, there was some information that about 2 hours ago I saw on the news, so that would give us an opportunity to look into what has been said today and look into some facts in accordance with the CDC and known medical profession, and make those decisions on Thursday. So I'll be voting against that amendment. I think we can do anything that we want to do on Thursday.
Okay, seeing no other commissioners, we'll take the substitute motion first of removing the general procedure section B. Roll call.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
No.
Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner
No.
Young. Oh, there you are. I didn't see you on the line. Okay, that was a no. I heard it. Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell,
No.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
No.
Commissioner Gage Watts,
No.
Commissioner Taliaferro,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus,
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
No.
All right, that motion does not carry. It's a 6-6 hung vote. So 6 in support, 6 in opposition.
All right, so now we'll vote on the original motion, which was to advance the particular review of the proposed COVID-19 control policy. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hopkins,
No.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
No.
Commissioner Burrell,
Yes.
Commissioner Cawthorn,
Yes.
Commissioner Gates-Watt,
Yes.
Commissioner Talaferro,
No.
Commissioner Atkins,
No.
Commissioner Chavez,
No.
Commissioner Lazarus,
No.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right, that motion does not carry either with a 6 in support and 6 in opposition. That brings us to communiques and committee reports. And the first item on there under that section today is the administrator report. Dr. Wilson, did y'all have a?
Good afternoon, commissioners. Pray everybody's doing well today. Just a few items to talk to you about. The first one is the Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Program is going forward quite well. We've already helped 7,552 applicants that's been served under this program. Applicants we received. We currently spending the state portion of the money, and we went through the first round we just got recently, and we'll have more coming in. And the good news is there's no waiting period for any of this assistance. We get applications that we pull every Wednesday to clear out what's there from in between Wednesdays. So there's pretty much zero waiting time on the assistance, long as all the documentations are completed properly. So that's going quite well for the parish as well as our citizens who need that service. In the Juvenile Detention Center, we have 15 juveniles today. We have 6 17-year-olds. We had 2 that came up from Homer, Louisiana because of the storm. And we have 8 juveniles over at the Caddo Correction Center. Also tomorrow, I'm pleased to let you all know that we have a vaccination clinic for public employees tomorrow in the lobby of Government Plaza from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. So it's open for any public service employee there and their spouses as well. And if you're in need of a booster shot with the necessary document, you can come and get that as well. And the vaccine will be the Pfizer product tomorrow. So from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, right at Government Plaza. And we're encouraging all those to pray about it and consider coming and getting a shot to protect yourself. And then we know there are other means of protection, but this is the most reliable one according to the CDC. All right, so that's all I have for you today, sir. President Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Any commissioners on communiques?
Jim.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
I see Commissioner Epperson, then Burrell and Hopkins.
The Pleasant Hill Baptist Church, 46 7th at Lakeshore Drive, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71109, will be offering the J&J and the Pfizer vaccinations on Sunday, September the 12th, from 11:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. You can come get your boosters. If you have any child that's under the legal age of 12 and up until 17, a parent must be present with them. Thank you.
Commissioner Burrell. You muted, Commissioner Burrell.
You might have muted me. I'm very cautious about information that's being put out into the public without verification. All the indication that I've heard on this, whatever you call it, ivermectin or whatever that term is. It is used on horses. So if you got horses that you want to bring over there to Woody to deworm, I can see that. I've never heard yet that they have a human form. I heard the comment that made earlier that there's a human form of this particular. I don't know if you call it a vaccine or what, but I'm very cautious of people throwing that type of information out in the public, because from all due indications, I understand that you use that stuff on horses and not humans, unless they're some sort of mixed of a human and a horse. And I don't think it's any of that, because that's mythical. So I'm very much concerned we put that kind of information out there unless it's actually verified, Mr. Chairman, especially out into the public. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes, Dr. Wilson, where are we on our redistricting process?
Redistricting? We just got through doing a RFP that we completed a week or so ago. We ran it for several weeks, and we had one respondent to it. And we are debating whether or not to go out and run it again, because we had no reason to disqualify the person who actually applied for it.
Okay. I guess the problem I have with it is we put it on our website, but we didn't send out any. And I found out we don't send out RFPs anymore for different things. But a company that does some business with you for 30 years, you would think would automatically get at least a notice that the RFP is out. So I'm just trying to find out how that happened.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner Hopkins, with all due respect, a company that we dealt with for 30 years would know when the census data comes available, they would contact us if they had an interest in doing the job.
And they hadn't put the data out till last week.
Pardon me?
I don't think the data went out till the last week and a half.
Yes, sir, but we all had challenges acquiring the data. We never got anything officially at the parish yet. We had to go out and seek that information on our own. So we never officially received any data from the Census Bureau saying this is what the outcome has been. We went out looking for the data ourselves. Thus, my comment to you is that for someone we've dealt with for so long, why aren't they calling us to inquire whether we got the data or not?
Amen.
I'm not looking for excuses not to give work. We want more the merrier, but we go through the normal process. We use bid sync and all the things that authorized and approved for all our process. We don't change our process, but to go out and beat the bushes and things of that nature, I think if anybody wants a job, they would be calling us too.
Thanks, sir.
Good.
Commissioner Burrell, secretary.
Commissioner Burrell, I think you.
No, my hand, I thought I had taken it down.
Okay,
Can you hear me now?
all right.
Next order of business.
Yes. Next item.
Okay, that brings us to at this point, actually, I just have a clerk's note just to remind everybody that the commission will sit as the tax board of review to hear the 2022 assessment appeals during a special meeting, potentially on September 15th, 2021. During the presentation on Thursday, the assessor will be able to tell you if there is going to be an actual need to hear that. He is prepared to do that by Zoom if necessary, but it looks like there is a high likelihood that those appeals will be addressed before we get to that point. So, but you'll hear that on Thursday for a final answer on that. And if you don't mind at this time, also, I do just want to mention, now that we have gone into doing a few meetings by teleconference again, just to remind everybody, if there is an item that is not appropriate for teleconference, there are a couple of options to address it. We will keep it in our file and re-mention it to the body when we meet in person again. Or if there is a time-sensitive issue, or if you need to get it addressed before that, you do have the right to call a special meeting, be it in person or whatever the appropriate way to address that may be. So just a brief reminder that we'll hold on to those. They don't just disappear if they can't be heard. And then President's report.
Okay. Roy, is your hand up again?
Mr. Chairman, it was something that I wanted to address, but I wanted to address it, in the appropriate area, and I think we may have just passed it. But it was a question that I did have, a point of information for the public.
Go ahead before I do my president report, because I ain't gonna go back.
Okay. Well, we've noticed in our around our neighborhoods, over around Lakeshore area, Lakeshore Drive and Curtis Lane, some bags of something that is there on top of the catch basin, each catch basin, and some of the my constituents in that area was wondering, it may be in other areas too, they was wondering what that was, and the only thing I could think of was the possibility of the wastewater testing. And I don't know if that's started yet, but they did have some concerns. I don't know if it's to wash out the basins. They look like sacks of cement, just sits on the different wastewater, what do you call, those openings.
The drains.
So, drains.
The drains.
Yeah, so we didn't know they was cleaning drains or it's part of this wastewater testing deal. So if anybody is aware of it, if they can share that with me, then I can share it with my constituents. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Chris Burrell. We're down to the president report. I'm going to basically keep it kind of short. I did go out to the state-ran shelter that's on Juella to look at the evacuees to make sure that they were being treated fair. As of yesterday, we got about 912 evacuees that are there. I did get a chance to walk all the way through it, look at the medical setup, the isolation setup, the restrooms, where they eat at, the cots, just to make sure that they were being treated right in Caddo Parish. And from what I saw, there are some things that could be done better. But what we're dealing with, I think, in the present situation, I was told by the sheriff that there's about 1,200 evacuee capacity in that building. But when I looked at it the other day, it's going to be hard to do 1,200 because there was about almost 100 that were just outside, just enjoying the day. And by the time you put those in there and try to do the 6-foot distance, you're not gonna make it. So as we'll start approaching and if the number keep continuing, I think we're gonna have to look at maybe either trying to send them to another shelter or opening up another shelter in Caddo Parish. I know Bossier has a shelter that's open that's basically taking a lot of the medical needs. But if we're going to be doing something, we need to do it right. It's a reflection of Caddo Parish and all the people who work here instead of this the state. So if you get a chance, I know some of y'all have been to the animal shelter and looking at that kind of stuff, but go out and look at our own mankind and see how they're being treated in the state-ran shelter in Caddo Parish. That's going to be it on the president report today. Next item.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman. It has to do with your
Commissioner Burrell.
How many shelters do we have in Caddo Parish? I know when I was on the city council, I shut down my council office.
There's one shelter that's open right now.
So it's only one. And then the only one in Bossier is a medical shelter, is what you're saying?
They're sending more to medical. they send the medical needs ones over to Bossier.
So basically we actually just have one really open for non-medical purposes. I'm understanding that.
Correct. And they do need wheelchairs. I do remember the one that's running the shelter saying that they do need about 10 wheelchairs. So if anybody wants to donate an old wheelchair, that would be a good place to go donate it to.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Next item.
All right, let's see. The next item is going to be citizens' comments, late arrivals. We have not received any more electronic requests, but the phone number, should anybody want to call in, is 318-226-6596. Again, that's 318-226-6596. And comments will be limited to 3 minutes. How long would you like me to give for callers to call in?
30 seconds.
Okay.
30 seconds.
I'll let you know as soon as 30 seconds is wrapped.
All right. And while we're waiting, Commissioner Epperson, you were right on the visitors. I was sent a message about that. So our next meeting, if the visitors is not pertaining to those 6 topics, they won't be able to talk.
Mr. President, did that message come from the clerk, Attorney Frazier, or from some other power?
It came from a legal source.
It has been over 30 seconds now.
All right, so we'll pass the late arrivals on citizen comments. Next item.
That brings us to consent agenda. And just a reminder, some of these items are holdovers from the last meeting. Some are not necessarily appropriate for teleconference. So if you have a concern about an item that's on the consent agenda, please reach out to the president or myself.
Move for adjournment.
Then move to adjourn. Second. Moved by Commissioner Everson, second by Commissioner Atkins to adjourn. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Have a good day.